10, 9, here we go. Blast off. I mean, wait, premature, sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Gods and
Let's see if Art can do this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Oh, this is going to be a mess. It's going to be an abrupt jump.
Can't fade out of there? No? Hey, there we are. All right.
Awkward jump. Hi,
No,
everybody.
that worked.
Welcome. Now we're going to play this. Welcome to Gods and Monsters, everybody. My name is Art Miles. Off to my right, which would be your left, is Greg Moan.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm going to get our little lower third thing playing because it's not playing right now. Refresh. There it goes. Look at us.
We did it.
Okay, I got to put this headset on. It's a 10-second delay.
Yeah.
It's very distracting.
You ever
Welcome.
play that? You ever play that app where you talk and then you're hearing your own talking and it screws you up?
Yeah,
You-
it just
you
screws
can't
you
do
up.
it? Yeah.
Gives you some sort of audio vertigo of some way. And well, welcome to Gods and Monsters, everybody. It is the 7th anniversary.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. 7 years. That's a lucky number. So this will be all good. Nothing but good things this year. Greg's got on
I
his.
am wearing the first anniversary shirt.
Yes, which is for sale here at Gods and Monsters. You can pick up the shirt.
That's not first anniversary though. That's just regular boring old.
Oh,
Gods and
yours
Monsters.
says first
Mine-
anniversary.
Yeah, mine is
Yes.
special. It literally says first year anniversary. And now we're at
anniversary
7.
show. I wore the Gods and Monsters shirt. I said, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to wear the shirt that Greg got for me.
because people thought you worked here.
Yes,
and they wouldn't stop
they're
bugging
asking
you.
questions,
Yeah.
and no, I don't know how much that costs. But I'm wearing my I Want to Believe shirt that I believe Greg Moan gave to me a couple of years ago as
Yes,
a gift.
I bought a whole bunch of $6 shirts from
Yes.
$6 Tees or whatever that is, and I thought of you, bought that one because you like X-Files and stuff.
And if you're wondering where we are, we're inside the store, and we've got a couple of different cameras we can show you. Of course, this is the camera of Greg and I. What else can we show them, Greg?
Just you.
Oh, that's just me. Hello, everybody.
'Cause you're
That'll be for
very
our
selfish.
guests. And we'll give a little bird's eye view of the store. As you can see, we've got patrons patroning right
milling
now.
milling
and
about.
we see who's at the register. I can't tell.
I don't
Who's at the
know
register.
that person.
But of course, Todd was at the register recently. Oh, slow dissolve. That was
Smooth,
very nice.
Smooth. I am a good producer.
Now, I guess for me, it's best to watch the OBS because that is the livest, no delayest of shots.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like it's about a half-second
Oh,
delay.
that's better than what's in my earpiece, which is 10 seconds. So
Yeah,
I
don't
took
do that.
those out. But we welcome everybody here. If you are watching us live right now, please come on down to the store because we are open. They'll be open past midnight tonight, I believe.
Oh?
Oh, yes. It's the 7th anniversary.
Okay.
Now, if you've been here before, you may notice that there's some things going on in the lobby here. The lobby meaning the lobby of the plaza here where they're in. They're under some major construction right now.
Yeah, it's really quite a mess. In fact, there's nowhere to sit out there
Normally, we'd be out there.
with
And,
the echoes.
But let's do what we always love to do on our show and say, Greg, what are you drinking?
Well, Art, I am drinking something called Dark Truth Imperial Stout. It's from Boulevard.
just put that right on my camera. Everybody can see it.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
look at that.
I don't. It's not gonna focus. So, oh, it did focus. Look at that.
Autofocus. Look at
So,
that.
Boulevard Dark Truth Imperial Stout. It is a very strong drink at I believe it's
9%? Oh.
9.70. 9. You can't see it. It's not gonna
9.7.
focus.
It's not gonna
'cause
focus on that.
There it is. 9.7% alcohol. I am done.
Very, very good. I'm clocking
All right.
it at 0.0%.
What are you drinking?
With the Todd Fisher favorite, the Orange Dream, which I haven't opened yet. I thought I would do that on camera.
I have had that before.
The
It
Orange Dream
tastes
craft
delicious.
soda. Is it a little too sweet for your taste?
Very too sweet, especially
very
right
too
now. That I don't think that's keto friendly, so that's way too much sugar in there. Let me actually look and see if it says anything.
Not keto friendly.
My God,
Greg is working on the keto diet, and it
My-
has done
this
wonders
has,
for him.
One of these drinks has more sugar than I drink than I consume in 10 days.
Oh, look at me buying 2 of them. Good job, Art.
Good job, Art. All right, that's
Well, once again, this is
Well
the
done.
Orange Dream. Greg is on the keto diet, doing wonders for him, I must say.
Yeah.
Let's say a year ago we did a show. What would you have clocked in at a year ago?
fat.
Don't say that because I've always been heavier than you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna
So
on my
I would
shirt so I
I would
look
be
thinner?
I would be willing to bet I was probably 182, 85 maybe.
And what height are we clocking in at?
5'9", a very
right.
average human being.
And
human
here we
male.
are 1 year later. What are we looking at now?
Well, I lost in 3 months. I lost 30 pounds, so I'm down to 160 right now.
I gotta say though, didn't see that there was a need for you to lose weight, but now that you have, you're
Well,
certainly not missing it.
You don't generally see me without clothing on, so I have the displeasure of seeing that every day. And I was just being very, very lazy. It's very easy to be me, which means I don't have to do a whole lot of stuff. So I don't do a whole lot of stuff. I sit around the house all day long doing a whole lot of nothing.
Very untrue when you discuss not doing a whole lot of stuff. You've been very busy working on films,
Oh, that's
scripts,
Yeah.
directing,
Yeah.
camera, audio,
I do.
and certainly editing.
Yeah, I've my film career, if you want to call it a career, has really picked up in the last 18 months. Ever since America decided that COVID wasn't really a thing anymore, productions have picked up everywhere, and the opportunities have been there for me to work on a whole lot of different projects, and I have been working on a whole lot of different projects.
And
In fact, my claim to fame now is that I was the first AD on an Asylum project, the same wonderful people that brought you Sharknado.
oh boy,
Yes, I worked
look
on
at you
on a
name
major
dropper,
film.
dropping Sharknado.
That's right. Hey, look at this.
Coming to the stage now
Coming.
to celebrate his 7th anniversary.
Lexus to the stage.
Hey, Keenan. We should make sure that his microphone is working. I will do a quick test
I
and
have
listen. But you
preset him lower than
Tap,
everybody
tap,
else.
tap.
No, he's on. He's on.
welcome
he's on.
to the show,
Yes.
Todd Fisher.
Oh, hello.
Todd
Let me
Fisher.
make sure I hear him.
How's it going?
We can hear him. I promise you. We could hear him across the
right.
street. He's got a very
Okay, it
very
does sound good. Very good.
forceful voice, a very
Right.
commanding voice.
Right.
You know, and not only is it your 7th
Loud,
anniversary,
Annoying.
Not so much annoying, just
Right.
not only the 7th anniversary of the show, but you've said in the past that the anniversary of the show also reflects an anniversary of your own when it
Sure.
comes to you and Anna.
Right.
I remember that.
We've been humping.
Scoot a little
wow.
closer.
All
Not
right
to me,
then.
to the microphone.
Oh, to me.
I got all creeped out all of a
I
sudden
don't
when
know.
you said that.
What are you doing? Yes. No. This kind of time of the year is it's when a lot of significant things have happened for us. The opening of the store, kind of the start of our relationship. Back before there was a store. So a lot of things fall within about a month or so of each other. So yeah, this is a
Lot
special
of-
time of year.
It
for
is
us.
very special, and there's a lot of people here, of course, that now that they see you want to say hi. We
Right,
have
hello.
Mo Winchester.
Hey Mo, what's up?
We have saying hello. We have Ellen Holsid.
Hello, Ellen.
Ellen Holsid Stolke is her name. full
All right,
name.
hi.
Wayne Tate.
Wayne.
James Kinnear saying hi and
Hi,
watching
everybody.
James Kinnear.
He'll be visiting in
relation.
August, apparently.
Oh, visiting
excellent.
in August. James Kinnear will be visiting you.
We'll
in
be
August.
ready.
And
We'll be
Jay
ready for
Malone.
you.
Hey, it's Todd. Says Jay Malone.
Hey, it's Jay Malone. Hey, Jay Malone.
Let's talk about how you've stayed in business for 7 years.
Man, 7 years is weird, right? That's a lot.
There have been no challenges. It's
Zero.
been
Literally,
smooth.
it's been a breeze.
Very easy.
Really easy on my wife. Like she's. Guys, if you can help it, don't open your own store. No, it's that weird double-edged sword, man, where we've kind of, like, to a degree, we've kind of done it.
Right,
But
yeah.
man, it takes a lot. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of.
It's
a
probably
lot
a full-time job.
It's like a full-time job almost.
But
No,
that's the dream,
it's-
though, is working for yourself, right? It's super easy. You
That's-
make your own hours. You
That
get to
was
do whatever you want.
That was the reason to do it, and that is the reason to keep it afloat. Man,
Mm.
is like I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I don't want to like, especially it's weird. Like after you've done it, like after you've worked for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like a whole different game. Like you'll never go back. Like it's. And
I
I
bet
can't
you-
imagine if I had to.
I
Like,
bet you
oh.
it's similar to when you go to college. You're living in a house with 12 other guys, and
Yes.
then you move out and you live with
know
3
where
other
this-
people.
I know where
and
this
then-
story's
and then
going, yeah.
Eventually, you get
Eventually.
your own place.
right.
And then you think, how did I ever?
What happened there?
How did I ever do it before?
Yeah.
And then you realize there's a whole new set of problems.
It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff. And I mean, we do it with a smile and all that, but it's like it's
Nothing you can't handle.
right. It's just a lot, especially for my poor wife who does most of the back end work.
I would love
the
to go back
ordering
to
and all that
you
stuff.
do it with a smile because, God damn it, Todd, you are probably the nicest person I've ever met in
Aw,
my whole
damn.
life.
Absolutely.
Holy crap.
Generous, and you give the store
don't get
away.
out much.
You literally give the store away.
He's too busy dieting. Look at this
And
guy.
perhaps-
he's like
and-
he's half the man he used to be.
And that perhaps explains the success of the store.
That may be. That
That's
may be
right.
why,
That
how,
could
it, how
be.
it works. I'm an ass. There's no way I could open up my
I
own
followed
place.
your whole journey.
By the way,
do
you
we
have
call
hair-
it a journey?
You have hair this
This
year.
is since last since
this
since
year.
last yes. I'm going for that Anson Mount Captain Pike.
if you go another year, you might go David Lynch.
Oh man.
With the swooping
Yeah.
hair. and
Pascal!
give everybody
The super swoop.
today's weather report. He does the weather on YouTube every day.
Today's weather report. It is raining.
Mentioning Pike, by the way, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I think they made him a little too gray.
Yeah?
Is he too gray?
I love
want
him.
to see him gray over time.
Anson's so cool though.
He's. If you recall what happened on Discovery, he knows what's going to be in his future.
Right.
So maybe that's why he's turned gray.
He's a man's man.
He knows it's going to end poorly for him.
Right.
So he's.
And it's interesting to see how that's gonna color his decision making over over his career.
I like how you said the word color. That
Color.
was very well done.
Yes, I'm a person of color.
So many TV shows to talk about too.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
but we want to get in discussing
I've got a
the
bunch
store.
of them in
There's
the
so much.
chamber, ready to go.
So many things we want to talk about.
Yes.
But first
7
of all,
years.
we want to mention everybody. Gods and Monsters is open right now. You're watching this live. The store will be open
Sure.
until.
I probably 1 o'clock. I think
Meaning
All
the
right.
bar
Like 1
be
o'clock?
open till 1 o'clock.
Yes, bar and store will be open late tonight. So
By the way, I
Yes.
was in the bar, and you have a new addition to the bar that I hadn't seen. I don't know when you got this thing,
What
but
is
that
it?
robot back there,
the robot.
the giant
Oh.
robot.
Oh, the skeleton.
Skeleton.
The giant skeleton. My wasteland skeleton. Yes.
This is 9.7.
Woo! That's feeling it.
The giant skeleton in there.
That's
with
right. Yes. We
nine-
got.
When you weigh less,
Yeah.
the alcohol hits you much faster.
It's like when you give blood.
I think I want to say that the skeleton. It was the Home Depot thing like 2 years ago.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Somebody did
We
some work
decked
with
it
though.
out. Yeah,
oh,
we decked it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Because
think
it doesn't
it's-
look like you buy it
I want to
from
say
Home
they're
Depot.
bringing it back this year. I think it's coming back this year. So who
Very
knows?
good. Well, it was
maybe
very-
we'll get another.
It was very popular last year. I know a lot of people on my Facebook were
It's up
talking
to Jay
about it.
Malone. What does Jay Malone think?
Jay Malone just says, "Hey,
Hey,
it's
it's
Todd."
Todd.
So,
Goddamn.
by the way, though, referring to what Todd just said,
Yes.
ask us any questions. Send your questions. It'll
Oh,
pop right
yeah,
up
yeah,
here.
yeah. I'm
Todd
an
can
open
answer
book,
your
kids.
questions. I have 10 things to talk about.
Oh,
maybe
man.
20.
All right.
First,
Oh,
you know,
God, I
we'll
thought
get
you made a
couple-
list.
A couple of things out of the way
Yes.
that are a little bit disappointing to speak about. But of course, George Perez has passed away since we've last done a show with
George
you.
That's a bummer.
has, and you guys actually got to interview him
Yes,
at our
your wedding,
Yeah.
and he was at your wedding because he gave the bride away.
That's right.
He's
old
a
friend,
very,
old friend
very
of,
kind
of
man.
Anna's, acquaintance of mine, but really close with
Yes.
Anna.
Wonderful,
And,
sweet man. Very sad to hear of his passing.
George
but
was great,
so
man.
glad that we got to meet him.
Yes.
And just get to sit and
George-
talk with him for the
George
time that we
was-
had.
George was a great guy, and
Yep.
he is going to be sorely missed. And he had such an impact on the industry and just on pretty much anybody he met. Man, he was such a ball of energy and just a fountain of knowledge from 40 plus years of industry work. Man,
Oh, yeah.
he's great.
And we got to have a unique experience with him because he was a part of your wedding, and we got to see
Yeah.
the joy that came with that for him to be a part of the wedding.
That footage is forever.
Yes, it is
Hell yeah.
forever, and it was just
Yeah.
George Perez, and it was wonderful to get to know him, even for the brief period of time that I got to
Yeah.
meet and talk with him. For
It's
sure,
true, and it's weird. We got in. We'll talk about the collection that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
It's a big deal, but a lot of George's work in there, early Teen Titans stuff.
really?
Yeah, like first Deathstroke, things like that. So it's a lot of and it's still very. It's still very raw,
Yes.
to see that stuff. So it's yeah.
And-
I was sad to see him go.
Todd does want to talk about something, but
Yeah.
did we cut you off? Is there something you wanted to say before we
No,
bring
I was
this
just going
next
to talk
topic
about
up?
my experience with
Yes, with
George.
George. Yeah.
With George is that I got to be in his studio and watch him actually
Yeah, you
create a
mentioned that,
drawing, and
right?
it was actually one of the most fascinating.
You got to
things.
see him draw live.
Yeah,
That's
it was
so cool.
really amazing to see it go from nothing to something. It was really
was a
really
master. He
fascinating,
was-
and
he
he
was
couldn't
great.
have been more warm and inviting when I came into his home
Yeah,
with
he and-
cameras
he and Carol
stuff.
are awesome,
No,
so-
he's a great man.
And you have another story like that. You were with Stan Lee when
What?
he recorded a quick
I
little
mean-
moment with you.
there was a thing, but I don't
It
really
was
talk
quickly.
about it.
Greg even recorded a little skit
like,
with him. I
we
would
dated
say
for like 6 months.
Yeah, it was a thing.
you recorded a brief skit with him where he brought up the value of something by autographing it right in front of you.
Yeah, and one of those one day I will release that video. I
man.
don't know if CGC will sue me over it or
man.
whatever,
They
but
might.
Yeah, they might.
They
Oh,
might.
I kind of thought it was out there, so it's not out
No,
there. You
well,
just showed it to me once. It was great.
It was created for like an internal commercial for CGC.
Oh, okay.
It was never used outside of the company, so I don't know if I'm allowed to use it or
Oh,
not.
I see.
don't even remember signing any paperwork, so I'll probably put it up for a
sounds
short
Did
fine.
we
time.
sign off on the
That's-
likeness rights? Or?
Yeah, I
Fine.
don't know. I don't know, but again, Stanley was another one of those guys that was just really warm, really nice,
Yeah.
really professional too. Like
Good.
sharp, really sharp. I beg to be that sharp
Have a
when
good
I'm
night,
when
guys.
I'm in my 90s.
See ya.
And now we live in a world without Stanley and George
know,
Perez.
man.
But, their work will live forever.
Hey,
True
they
story.
brought back Tarkin. They
Lost-
could bring back.
We lost Ken
Stanley.
Kelly about a week ago too.
Something-
The Kiss covers, Micronauts box
Yep,
art covers.
yep.
Yeah, man, he was pretty neat too.
Something that I just saw. Let's just keep going down this dark path. Just yesterday or the day
That's fun.
before,
I'll drink.
from one of my favorite television shows, Twin Peaks, Julie Cruz had passed away. The
Yes.
singer who sang at the Roadhouse.
No
At
kidding.
the age of
Yeah.
only 65, she had suffered from lupus a few years ago and had other issues. And
She's a
she-
werewolf?
Yes, that lupus.
Oh, okay. That's right.
They never tied
Werewolf?
that into the show, unfortunately.
Right. I know. A missed
But-
opportunity. I find.
But she just passed away 2 days ago at the age of 65.
Man,
I'm
the
disappointed.
voice of Twin Peaks.
Usually CNN will every once in a while they will just say this person died, and it usually sometimes it's very obscure people like I don't even know who that is. Why
Right.
is this story?
She would fall in the obscure
no,
category
no
for
Julie,
sure.
No Julie Cruz story on CNN. that she died.
Oftentimes I'll be like, I thought they were dead already. Is it-
That did
What
happen with somebody recently too, or I was very surprised, but now I can't remember who it was.
Danny DeVito.
No,
No.
still
Oh,
with us.
I'm
He's still with
assuming. I just assumed.
Thank goodness.
us. There are other passings I'm sure we could discuss. I can't think of anything
But
right
where's
now.
the joy in that?
But where's the joy in that? I want to think about. I recently watched our episode from a year ago, where you were just hinting to the fact.
I'll get there.
Go. You want to? Because I can save this. I want to save this for later.
I just wanted to say that
Please.
it's very bizarre that celebrity deaths or people that we care about deaths seem to come heavy in one year, and then we'll get through the next year and like almost nothing will happen. Like I seem to remember was it 2020? Like tons.
Yep.
Just tons
Right.
of important people or people that were important to me anyway.
Then we took a
passed.
break in 2021.
Yeah, 2021 almost nothing.
And then we
happened.
kicked off 2022 with
Big
Betty White
time.
dying
Big time.
January 1st.
yeah.
Buddy.
Or at the very
I
at
think
the
it was
beginning of the year.
31st.
Yeah,
I don't think
31st.
she made
Okay.
it. Or
And
she
it was what, like two or 3 days before
For her
birthday?
100th, yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And
6
if-
days. It was 6 days.
And if you
6
had
days.
gone to the stores, they already had the Betty White 100th birthday, for People
Yeah,
Magazine. I'm gonna
yeah.
do the audio again of it.
Matthew
Guys.
Schaefer says Gods and Monsters Forever,
Matthew.
and Caleb Fisher says
Hey.
Happy Anniversary.
Caleb.
Yes, happy anniversary.
Back again. I've got some regulars on here. This is kind of cool. We've been doing we've started doing now a weekly unboxing video for this collection that we'll talk about. It's pretty exciting for us. I'm super jazzed about it.
Is that the green box?
It is. Well, we call it the green tag stuff.
Green tag stuff,
What
okay.
we've basically done is we came into possession of a what would you call it? A warehouse,
Storage facility, whatever. Here we go. Have you
good
heard
size,
this?
A good
I have
size,
not.
a good size storage facility. We were
Full of
kinda-
unopened original.
It's
Kenner. Is it Kenner? Who made the Star Wars?
Yeah, it's
story?
Kenner.
Kenner,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
No, no.
Thank you,
No,
Brain.
I
No,
wish.
not that for pulling
But
that out of my butt.
so over the course of I guess the last 40 years or however many decades, the guy that had this thing had owned a comic book store back in like the 80s, a video store, a bookstore, and frankly more porn than I've ever seen. In one
How
place.
did the video store do?
I got probably I'd be surprised if I had less than 20,000.
20,000.
Yikes.
I was going to guess 5,000.
And it's really cool. It's all over the place. It's old weird horror and like the kind of stuff that I would sell here.
Love
so
it.
It's
Gi-
just,
Great.
Give us an example of the Dracula one you showed me, the comic book.
well that's the comics. We found quite a bit of comics too.
In excellent condition.
Hold on, I'll
Okay,
grab
he's
few.
going to go bring up a couple that he just showed to us. What the first question I asked him though, when he showed it to me and in the excellent condition it was, I was like, "That must have been an air-conditioned storage facility." And he said, "No, it was not." They were shocked
Wow.
that the condition that some of these things were in. I think when he shows us something, he can show it right into that camera.
Yes.
But he's going to bring in a Dracula comic book that's priced at $3,000, I believe.
He's got a handful of stuff. Here he comes.
Oh, spoilers.
Good. So if you're going to show anything, just hold it up to that camera there if
This
you
one
want to
here?
show
Yep.
us.
Yeah, sure,
Yes.
we can do that.
Hey,
So,
She-Hulk. I heard
we'll-
that's happening.
We'll start out with two copies of She-Hulk #1. That's first appearance
Wow.
of Jennifer Walters as She-Hulk.
gonna keep my drink away from that.
This is the really big get so far. A Tomb of Dracula #10. That's the first comic book appearance of Blade. You know Blade, old Wesley Snipes. But back in the '70s, he was more like a.
What is the tag on that?
That's a $3,000 tag on that,
Holy
sir.
crap.
I know. Look at the condition.
No, I'm not touching that.
You're
Nope.
like, I'm not touching
No
that.
way.
I just put my drink down, too. I don't even want to get close to it.
First Journey into Mystery, old Journey into Mysteries.
What year is that?
This is probably 71-ish or so.
But look at the
Wow.
condition.
A lot of these
Look
are
at the
early
condition
70s,
that they're
early
in.
80s.
Those
there's,
are
there's an
gorgeous.
iconic one. Everybody knows that cover, right? That's the old.
Oh, X-Men. I've heard of them.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those guys. X-Men, Judo Master. What else we got? But oh yeah, here's that Tomb of Dracula. Tomb of Dracula #1, first Dracula in comics. Pretty cool.
Wow.
But all in remarkable condition. Like if you had seen the state of the warehouse when we started, it was so filthy.
Was
Like,
it? Was this here in Florida?
This is it was about probably a half hour from
So
here.
it was warm. It was in Florida. It was unair conditioned.
It was. I had 3 weeks to get everything out, and it was a big enough unit to where if you had cars parked back to back, like 2 cars parked back to back, you could have probably fit 5 rows of cars. So it was
Damn.
quite wide and stacked almost to the ceiling. And
So
it was,
give me the 90-second. How did you?
Yeah,
come
that was my next
to
question.
get
we
this?
were cold called. We were cold called by the
Wow.
the I guess the people that
Boy, those
I guess
guys at
the peop-
Acme are
the people
pissed.
that
They do reality shows on things like this.
The
You know,
people-
Yeah.
the
Oh,
storage
yeah.
openings.
the people I guess that were responsible for the unit reached out to myself and I think 1 or 2 other stores, and I guess I was the first to respond. And just based on what I saw on the surface, we made an offer and we got
Woo!
it. So
Heck
it
yeah.
was-
Came
Heck
to the
yeah.
storage facility
I
with a
couldn't-
briefcase full of cash.
I couldn't let it go, man. It was
Were these packed like super tight into
It's so funny.
into boxes? Because that's the only way I can think of that
I
these
wish I
would
could go to a
survive.
still. I have photos of the box that these came out of.
Yeah.
And they were okay. So in this miasma of
That's a word I've never heard before.
of-
I'm gonna look
of
that up.
filth and picture a decade's layer of dust on
Sure.
everything. In
Sure,
the place.
Typical Florida storage
was
space.
the first of several boxes that were these were when I found them unbagged and boarded, just stacked in a box
Wow.
it was probably 500 books in a
okay,
box.
so they were smashed together.
they
stacked.
right
Now
so they were
they did not look like this though. They didn't have. Were they in these things or they were
No,
just
they were completely
bare
they
naked?
were completely bare naked.
No.
So I was and based
Unbelievable.
on the state of the place, that makes it even more remarkable.
How
that
did it
the,
survive the moisture?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the
I don't
cycles
know.
of
Maybe it was more central because there were boxes around kind of the perimeter because there were like ventilation vents
All
in
right,
there.
so they were
and-
protected
and
in
there were
some
boxes
way.
in the back that maybe didn't do so hot that had to get tossed. But I mean,
Okay.
It's just
it's great, right? Like it's amazing.
the first thing you do is you always want to look at the edges and the corners, and
It's amazing.
the
Look at that
Dracula
blade.
one is just
the Blade one is just crazy. Like that's. Look
Oh,
at
the
that.
$3,000
Look at the edges
one?
on that
You
thing.
just hold
It's
that, crumple it up, yeah.
that's amazing.
It's
That's
nuts.
the first thing you look for, and they're usually it's all.
It's
when
beautiful.
you hear the story of where these were.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
So how long do you think they were in there?
We found stuff that like the newest stuff in there was probably from we'll say 2010 or so, because it seemed like he had his store probably in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
I know. And so there's a ton of stuff where it's like old promotional posters from that era in comics, which is great. But the thing is, we haven't got a chance to go through everything at all, like because the first day or so I was so overwhelmed by everything. It's just like,
yeah.
what do I do? I'm just going through boxes like, oh my god, and then I'm just like, we don't have time. We've only got 3 weeks.
Somebody's gonna have to catalog
We got
that.
it. We got to get it all. We got to get it all out. I'll look at it later. So our process at first was separate, like get everything into separate piles because we got 4 storage units on our end of town to move it all into because it was just so much stuff.
Wow.
So so the process became, okay, that's DVDs. Okay, books. Okay, comics. Okay.
Okay, books, DVDs, comics. What were some
Books,
of the
DVDs,
bigger
comics.
items, like heavier?
Like the weirdest thing I found in there, I found a shark in a jar, like a giant.
really?
No, like a real
Okay.
shark in a jar.
7th
Bones.
grade
I found bones.
science. Yeah.
Bones.
I found guns. I
Yikes.
found
Bones. I'm sorry.
Bones and guns. Guns with bones.
This is that storage space that's out of
Right.
Hannibal Lecter. Yeah.
That's right. That's one of those human heads. No, no. It is. It's just a lot of weird stuff.
Wow.
A lot of weird stuff. But I mean, then you'd find gyms like this. You'd find boxes full of stuff where you're just like, well, there's the money. There's our money back. You
Right.
know. Everything
Yeah,
else was
we're
kind
looking
of,
at it in this stack.
everything else was kind of icing. So it was a boon. It was a chance to take because like I said, when I typically look at a collection, I've got my pen and paper and I'm taking notes and it was so much stuff I didn't take a single number down.
That was
I was just like I went through about 10 boxes. And I was like, well, just by law of averages, if the rest of this is even remotely as
That's
good as
exciting.
this,
That's like that show. There's
Pickers, American Pickers.
American
I
Pickers.
guess, but no, there's an actual show where they open up the storage
Oh
unit
yeah,
and
Storage
people
Wars.
bid on it.
Yeah,
And stuff like that.
Same kind of thing, man. It's
But this was like Christmas morning for you, wasn't it? Every box you opened.
It is a slowly unfolding Christmas morning. So we've started Monday nights. We're doing blind unboxings where I just go and pick a few boxes and just chat with people.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Now tell people how they can find that.
that's gonna be. It's on our Facebook. I think he might be doing it on Instagram as well, but we're definitely doing it live on Facebook Live
so great.
every Monday night. I think next week we're doing 2 because I have a special guest coming into town.
Good.
And,
you just do
that'll
that
be
at the
fun.
register there.
Just
Usually
yeah,
don't you?
we just set up there after we close down and then do an hour or so of just live unboxings. And we sold a few pieces this last show. Like people were like, "Ooh, I need that. Ooh, I need that one." And it was weird stuff. To be fair, it was like I'm not. It would be so easy for me to just pack in the cool stuff and be like, "Oh, what is in this box?" No, but it's more. Where would the fun in that
Okay.
be?
So it's a true
There's
unboxing.
Yeah, there's a huge market out there for people that are just on YouTube channels unwrapping Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah.
So weird.
Kids doing it, adults doing it.
love
Yes.
it.
Yes, and they don't know what's in them, and when they genuinely
Yeah.
find something valuable, they lose.
Our friend Anthony Fertney was doing that for a while on TikTok, and
Oh, yeah?
and yeah, he's got quite a following. No, it's,
I don't get it.
I whatever.
It's not for me.
Content is content, right?
Sure.
It's for the people who can't actually own these things. They get to unbox it with you and be like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
joy!" They have the joy with it. It's just like
Vicarious living. Right?
it's just like
I
when
guess.
people. It's a different type of unboxing. When people just watch people play video games.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
you
like
had to go
I
there,
didn't
yeah.
play this game, but I liked the idea of this game.
you know
but I'm
what
going to
the-
watch somebody get through this whole game.
Here's what happened with video games though, because I'm now replaying Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I think that game came out in 2012.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm playing that game because that's on my level. I'm looking at the games that are coming out in the last 2 years. I can't play those. I don't have I don't have the reaction time. I don't have the
reaction
I
time.
don't have
Okay.
enough Adderall
I
in
know-
the world.
I know what you're
to
saying.
play those games
Because even just last night, I was revisiting Red Dead Redemption 2. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. It's
great.
Just to
Great
see them
game.
walk through.
Oh, yeah, it's-
But all of a sudden, 5 guys come up on me, and I'm like, my reaction
me of how we
time.
met.
My reaction time is just not there anymore.
Five guys.
I'm just.
You know.
I can't. I don't have the reaction time that I used to.
Right. We're older, and
So-
our brains and
So
and
maybe
bodies
I should
don't work as
just go
fast.
to YouTube and just watch people play the game.
That's what I do.
How very sad.
Some of us seem to be aging better than others.
Yes. All his weight that he lost, he
outward
obviously gave to
appearances.
me.
Yeah.
Outward appearances are deceiving.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I get
Overrated?
tired just like everybody else.
So why don't you run through, in case anybody comes over here, run through the staff that we see here now at the register or at the bar,
A lot of new
anything
staff
like
running
that.
around.
Yeah, let us know.
So let's see. With the front, we've recently brought on Michaela.
Who's that? Is that who's there right now? Oh, she looked over here. Yep,
Oh,
that must be
that was
Michaela.
Michaela.
Wave at the
Wave,
camera,
wave,
Michaela.
Michaela. Hey,
Michaela.
Michaela.
Michaela
All right.
is live. Hang on, see here she is here.
Yep.
She's live on the camera.
Michaela's actually got a D&D podcast and all that stuff. She's
Oh, excellent.
She's a little spitfire.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah,
She's good on the TikTok. She knows how to run the TikTok.
What the kids do. Yeah, got it.
The
Which
kids
we should
love the
probably
TikTok.
be doing.
That's
she's
Chinese.
she's
I'm not going there.
She's quickly become our anime expert. She's the one
Good.
I send. They need stuff.
Good.
Yes. We've also got Quinn, who is not here yet, but I think is here later.
Okay.
They them. Good job.
Quinn, yes.
Quinn is awesome.
Oh wait, has Quinn been here for a while?
Quinn's been here for I don't know about a month and a half.
Okay,
or so.
all right.
I would say Quinn is an organizer at heart.
Okay.
Quinn has
Which
been,
every comic book store needs.
Right. They are getting ready to jump into our back issues and get those in better order. But our pop wall behind us, as you can see, that's all Quinn's little. That's Quinn's work. And
Yes. Those pops were not there
No, they used
before,
to be
so
on
they're very
the-
nicely displayed with
Yeah.
the lights. I got to say, with the changing
we-
colors.
So we've
They
got.
used to be all over the place.
So we've got Riken.
Okay.
Not to be confused with
Riker.
General Riken or Riker.
Okay.
Riken actually got to help me out at the warehouse when he was one of my helpers at the warehouse. He is a youth of I think 23.
All the energy. All the energy.
You
So
know?
let's do the math on how old
No,
Riken
dear.
was when we started 7 years ago. Yikes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But a
15,
youth.
16.
15,
But a
14,
youth.
15. Yeah.
No, he's very knowledgeable about the things the kids are into these
Good.
days.
You need
So
that.
We need that. I need that
You
kind of energy.
you do need that.
Need it.
You
Todd,
need that.
Crave it.
Can I
big
ask
internet energy.
ask a maybe personal question?
Here we go.
What does the word smutapalooza mean to you?
Smutapalooza.
I think
Smutapalooza.
that popped up right when he mentioned all the porn that he received when he went to
I'll
the
be
storage
honest.
facility.
Let's see.
One of the we found some of the business cards
Ah,
that this gentleman had because he was clearly in the pornography sales business, like he was
as you do.
but he got
As you do in the 80s.
As you do.
right but his cards were such and such purveyor of finer erotica.
Fine.
There.
So that in turn means I am now a purveyor of finer erotica, a smutapalooza.
Yes.
If you will.
As
If you will. Okay.
As
Very
a-
good.
A smut farmer.
Now, we do need you to acquire the store next to you so that you can do the
Expansion.
80s double doors
I know,
that
wouldn't it be
goes
great?
into
Wouldn't it be great?
Smutapalooza.
Oh, I know.
Oh, the
when you go to the video store and the
swinging
sliding
doors.
doors.
Anna has joked.
I love
that,
it.
That we would shut the bar down and make that get the beaded door. And the whole
I
thing.
love
yes,
it. That's a great
yes.
idea.
But then what would
Shut
Jen
down
do?
the bar.
You remember
Don't,
Jen?
Don't sh-
Of
Jen,
course,
don't
of
shut down
course.
the
How's Jen
bar.
doing?
I
So
love the
Jen-
bar.
I know. I
No,
love
Jen
the bar
runs
too.
the Smutapalooza cash register.
So Jen and Christine and Callie
Yes,
are,
we're naming
are
off.
our current bar folk.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's every. Oh, and we got Thomas. Thomas, who's only been with us for 2 or 3 days now. Thomas has been brought on specifically to spearhead our online store. He's gonna
Very
build
good.
it from the ground up.
You-
You're
You're delegating. Very good.
You know,
Very good.
He and our friend and confidant and kind of I guess employee Cal are going to be working side by side on that. He I guess ran the online presence for a store called the Toy Vault, and he is now moved
Okay.
down here, and we got it. We actually got him on via phone interview a few months ago.
Did you not have an online store? I thought you
Negative.
did, sort of.
We were working towards one,
Yes.
and
Just no time.
It's a very difficult thing to do unless you've
imagine.
got people dedicated to it, which now
Yep.
we do. And
Okay.
this is the perfect time to do it since we've got 4 storage units full of stuff to,
That you need to
it's-
sell.
It's well, and a lot of the stuff, like there's a good amount of the stuff obviously that can go here comfortably in the store.
But you only have so much square footage here.
Right.
I get that. Yeah.
And beyond that, there's stuff that maybe doesn't fit the vibe of what we're doing here.
Like the porn.
The porn,
Yes,
for instance,
right,
the adult
yeah.
stuff. Some of it's okay, but I mean, a lot of it's just titties.
How many of them came in like the VHS boxes, but they were like the oversized
Oh
VHS
yeah,
boxes?
yeah, some of those. I found this was kind of cool. I haven't dug them back out yet, but there are, I guess Atari, for the Atari Entertainment System, did adult video games.
What?
And I've got them in box.
Well,
still, but-
Custer's Revenge was the one that
Yeah.
I know of,
Yeah.
which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
So if you
Probably in there.
if you do have a good copy of that, it's worth something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the
But,
coolest. You want
but
to see?
all the other X-rated stuff is very knockoff. It's very bootleg. So it's
Okay.
not Atari.
This is factory boxes. And
Can't be. It's got to be
Really?
bootleg. Yeah, they only ever made one that
that
was
right? Okay, well-
that was created
When I dig them out, we'll bring them on the show and we'll
That'd be great.
peruse.
Yeah.
Now I am going to go grab something because there's a really cool piece that I.
All right.
that I made a girl cry with it earlier.
Oh, well,
I saw
there you
that,
go.
yes.
That is.
Now, I was standing in line behind them to buy
I
my
have made
Orange
many a girl
Dreams.
cry
Yes.
about things.
That's a different podcast.
What is it? Oh.
But yeah, when I was buying my Orange Dream, Todd was showing off a couple of things, and one of them was a sealed and autographed by most of the cast members.
Oh, Cried of Joy. Is that what this is?
No, I
Or
think it was
wouldn't
Labyrinth.
sell it to her.
But I don't want to spoil it because maybe.
Yeah, what is this?
But
I don't
it's a script from a movie.
Oh.
And it was autographed by all the actors, and I believe even Jennifer Connelly's signature was on there. So I think
She's
it
pretty.
was for Labyrinth. Yes, in the new Top Gun movie, which I have not seen yet.
I've heard that. Yes,
yes,
that she
it's
is in
doing
that. Yep.
very well. That movie.
Where's Todd? Can we
I wanted
see
to-
him? Is he
Oh, yeah,
running
you can go
about
to the
over
wide
there?
shot
I
and
don't.
see if he
here
comes
he is.
running
He's
back.
coming. He's coming. He's coming back. He's got something in his hand. What does he got? He's got a book.
I'm liking that camera angle. Seeing the story and the
Yeah,
slow
that's nice.
dissolve. Yes. So all
do we have
and
here?
again, you'll show that camera over there.
So one of the first things that we pulled out of this collection, one of the things where I was just like, well, hell, if that's legit. There were a lot of autographed pieces. We found boxes, just stacks of autographs.
Wow.
But one of the first things that we pulled out of any of these boxes was a multiple signed copy of the Labyrinth script.
Wow.
Signed by Jim and Brian Henson, Jennifer Connelly, and the White Duke.
Wow.
David Bowie.
To get David Bowie and
I
Jim
know.
Henson's autographed.
We reached out. I think it was I want to say Heritage Auctions does a remote authentication thing.
You need to know, yeah, because you need to
Yes.
show them to see if there's.
That's important.
Yeah, and then you can send them pictures remote, and they
Wait a
can.
minute. That's the working script.
This is I think
40 pages?
It's I know, right? What is it? Jim Henson dances, or no, not Jim. David Bowie dances.
There you go. Yeah.
David Bowie's signature. You don't hear that very often that he did autographs, so that's
Yeah.
extremely rare.
That's like a
right.
Prince autograph.
Right,
He didn't-
exactly.
He never
But
autographed
there was a
anything.
lot of autograph stuff. Anne Rice, Stephen King, Clyde Barker. We've got I don't like her politics, but first edition Potter books with J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
Which are thousands of dollars. What do you call it? Who else? Lemony Snicket, the guy who writes under Lemony Snicket for a series of unfortunate events.
I don't know who that is.
What else? Stan Lee. I got at least
Stan Lee.
at least
Well,
at
who
least-
doesn't have Stan
at
Lee's
least three
autograph?
Stan Lees and a Jack Kirby, which is the first Jack Kirby one I've ever
excellent.
seen, which is so great.
Oh, by the way, the comic that he signs in that silly little thing that we
Yes.
do, he gave that to me, so I have that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not doing as much signing anymore.
Not so much anymore.
Not
No.
as much.
We don't mean to confuse anyone. Of
rare.
course, we were joking that Todd would ever close down the bar because
Yeah, that's
Peach Milk
ridiculous.
Design Company was like, no, you can't,
You can't
ever
do
close the
that.
bar.
What are you talking about?
But Peach Milk Design Company also wanted to say happy anniversary.
Hi, Peach Milk.
And
Yay.
the kids and their TikToks. Yeah, I know. the
Yeah,
kids
the
and their
kids.
Tic Tacs.
TikToks.
Tic Tacs.
Tic Tacs.
Tic Tacs.
That's true.
So tell us again, what was the window of time you had to get this storage facility?
We had about 3 weeks, a solid 3 weeks. So it was me with a U-Haul every day or three. And
Did you resist the urge to flip through things in the storage facility, or did you pack it up?
The first day was inevitable. Like I was so overwhelmed because it was in such a state, man. It was like, and everything was kind of it was all over the place.
I'm sorry. Can I just
What do you got?
hold the phone a second? So this has been authenticated by some dude who printed this out on
Nah.
his at-home printer.
Print shop.
With,
This was a print shop from
was.
with fonts from that pack that you
Isn't that
buy.
amazing?
Perhaps
Right?
because he wanted it to be authentic to the time that this movie actually came out in
Perhaps.
1986.
Sure, perhaps.
Because you're right.
I just love seeing that it's authentic
It's so
by
funny.
some dude.
By Mike.
Where else are you
dude.
going to get Jim Henson and David Bowie's autograph in
I
the
know.
same sheet of paper?
So cool. So cool.
Oh, that's an excellent find.
But Heritage says it's all right, so I believe him.
So yeah, so you did have only just a short amount of
It's
time
very short amount of time.
to get everything out, but the temptation to start flipping, I'm sure, in the storage facility.
It was the first day I barely got anything done, and it became very quickly a matter of I don't have the time. This is way too much, and I didn't have adequate help.
This was in the storage facility?
That was in the storage facility.
What the hell?
Isn't that wild?
That's
I know.
Again,
nuts.
and not crinkled up and in any poor
Nope.
condition
No.
in any
Nope.
way.
It's weird. It seemed like the stuff that that based on the surrounding environment should have been
this
destroyed.
has to have
Right.
been
was the stuff that came out in the best condition.
that has
Right.
to have been printed specifically for
I
them to
think-
sign
I
it and
believe
put it
it
away
was.
because
Yeah,
I've
this-
never seen a script in that good condition.
I was gonna say it's not. I don't think it was a show used thing.
Yeah, it couldn't
It
have
was.
been.
I think it was something that they did maybe for a promotion. Or
I
something.
try to be careful with the scripts that I have on set,
Yeah.
and that no way. That's
It's
amazing.
really cool,
That's
though.
amazing, though.
And in case you are interested, it is for sale here.
Yeah,
for
well, it's spoken for already. so-
$800,
see.
and I'm
I've got-
sorry.
Is that
I've
why
got-
the girl was crying?
I've got one of our regulars on the hook for it, and then if that somehow falls through, I've got another guy that's ready
And the
to
girl
go
you
on
showed it to earlier today, she took a picture with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
she
mean,
was all
just-
verklempt.
Yeah,
and
she was.
She was getting another Labyrinth book, so I was just like, ooh, I got something to show you.
Got something to show
Oh,
you.
so let
Wow.
me just twist this knife.
Yeah, no, here
Yeah.
you go. Ah.
Somebody had a comment there,
Yes.
Greg, or Francis Gonzalez is watching now. I don't-
Hello, Francis. Welcome,
People come, people go.
Demi. Hi, Demi.
Just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Several of the viewers that are on with us now were watching that first that first unboxing video. A lot of porn, a lot of boobies.
Listen, you didn't know what was in the storage
Well,
facility.
this was from the 80s, you say?
Well, the porn ranges from at least the 60s because there's I have
interesting.
old 60s era Playboys and all that.
Okay.
But magazines and just ephemera from 30 years or more of pornography. It seemed like, and he went in, like I said, there's a lot of video stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff is I don't want to say legit because porn is legit, but more mainstream stuff,
Mainstream.
and then porn.
Sure.
And then it seemed like the guy went into video production himself, like creating his own content to sell as well, like amateur porn and stuff.
Oh.
Okay,
So
okay.
there's a lot of
Back
that
then
too.
it was really gross.
Right, because there was a lot of projectors and cameras and
film
things.
reels?
Time out.
Yes.
You have film projectors?
I do. I can show them to you too.
I would
goodness.
love to see.
It's old. They're old. They're
Yes.
old school. in
No,
studio.
absolutely.
Were
I
there
would
film
love-
reels as well?
There were. Most of them were damaged beyond repair, but we have.
I would
some,
just
sure.
love to have maybe
know?
a working actual projector. I think that would be, or even
I don't know
not
if it-
working.
I don't know if it
I don't know.
worked, but,
Yeah, even
but
not
yeah,
working
I'll
would be
show
kind of
you.
cool because
They're pretty neat.
Interesting.
I am a purveyor of old cameras. I have a
I think
few.
I know exactly where they're at too. I can,
Cool.
I can go right to them.
Well, that'd be fun.
Sure.
What were some of the, would you consider some of the oldest items that you found?
Well, let me think. Oldest items were probably. Well, a lot of the comics are quite old. Some of them going back into the 40s, which is
Wow.
pretty neat.
Wow.
Anxious to get those kind of looked at because those are like the Tomb of Dracula, which is like 1970s. A lot of these are in the thousands of dollars, even in the condition that they are in. But a lot of old, I've got old Jerry Lewis comics and
Oh, really?
yeah, old Disney.
A copy of The Day the Clown Died.
You know.
Yeah, the film
know?
that played
Yeah.
on the projector.
Or is it the Day the Clown Cried or The Day the Clown
Did you
Died?
guys hear that?
the Jerry Lewis movie.
yeah.
London After Midnight, a copy of London After Midnight has surfaced.
Who?
Did you hear about that? Do you know that? London After Midnight is. I'm sure you've seen a picture of the main, this creepy guy. But
Yes.
I think it's an old. I want to say it's an old lost Universal.
I think I just
Like
saw a photo
original
of that
print?
today.
Yeah,
But
and
maybe that's in the news or something.
Well, I think they finally, because it's been lost forever. There's not. I think there were maybe clips of it, but I think somebody
Okay.
actually found a full reel to
Give it to Peter Jackson to remaster.
You know what I
and,
mean?
Yeah.
Like, get on it.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, so those were some of the older
Some of
items.
the-
Let me just take 30 seconds to make this request. You have a mountain of porn
Yes.
from
So much.
maybe the 80s.
Yes. Definitely.
If
Yes.
you find
Yes.
films with Tracy Lords in it,
I know I have some.
you have two options.
Yes.
Burn them
Burn
because
them.
they're very, very illegal.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Or find a way onto the dark web and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
This show's not going the way I thought
talk
it was
after
going to
the
go.
show.
Yeah. This show, we just got a quick hello from
The,
Alita.
FBI.
I want to say
Yeah.
Alita,
That was
and
quick.
congratulations to Talon and Alita. Of course, they have a new young
course.
child.
They-
You see it online all the
Hey,
time.
That's great.
And they've been on our show before. They've been to Gods and Monsters many
They're,
times
ped-
before.
they're peddling that new baby around.
Yeah, I
aren't
see
they?
the pictures. Yep, I see the pictures. Absolutely, and that's what you do. That's what
Yeah.
you do when you have a young child to show. Francis Gonzalez is watching.
Hi everybody.
Mo-
How we doing?
Mo
Phelan.
Winchester.
Yeah, we know Mo.
Okay, says it was Lon Chaney. Was it Lon?
Was it
Chaney?
Lon Chaney?
Was it?
Was that
Okay.
Lon Chaney? Yeah.
He says it was.
Been lost for
I
a long
believe Mo.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There should have been a camera there set up when
You know?
when you opened that door. Was it one of these doors?
It's a shh.
Okay, yeah, it was one of those doors.
It was two. It was double giant garage doors for the main one that I was moving out of.
Well, thank God they called you. You know,
Right.
They called
you know,
Gods and
it's,
Monsters.
I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to go through this
Alita
stuff.
says
It's
they're
really
obsessed
cool.
with their little girl.
Yes,
yeah,
Of course
you're
you are.
Of course you are.
You're supposed to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
You
tracks.
better be.
That tracks.
Yeah,
Yes.
I hope so.
And there will be a time not
Considering the alternative.
There will
right?
be a time in our future
starts crying,
soon
you punt it out
Right.
the
where I'm
window.
sure the little girl will be dressed up for Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Or a TARDIS.
Yeah.
Like put her in a little TARDIS onesie.
Get
I'm
her
sure that's going to
cosplaying
happen
early.
for Talon and Alita.
Sure.
Yes. She
Yeah.
says thank you.
Got a new Doctor Who coming up. Got a new Doctor. They've cast. If you've seen the show Sex Education,
I know that Gillian Anderson was in that show. I was on Netflix
yeah,
show, isn't
good
it? Sex
show,
Education.
Good show.
Yeah.
The black best friend of the main lead. So it's
Will be the new Doctor Who.
It's a much younger
Doctor Who is black?
Yes. Is going. I know. I know.
No, I know.
That was the internet. That's the sound the internet
Yes,
made.
that's
No, the kid's
clutching
great.
their pearls. My stars, my heavens.
It's just he's probably, I would imagine, he's probably the youngest person to portray the Doctor, I think, because he's quite young.
Okay.
He's probably 25 or 26. He's not that old. So I'm interested to see how he does because he's got the chops. He's on a great show and he was very good in it. So.
Both my girls are heavily into the 10th Doctor right now,
Oh, yeah.
rewatching that on HBO.
It's Tennant,
and,
right? Tennant?
Yep.
Yeah, Tennant's great.
My youngest Riley dressed up as him when we went to MegaCon a few weeks ago.
Sure.
You had your own version of MegaCon opening that storage facility. There's no time for
Well,
MegaCon.
And beyond that,
So you've got a lot of storage facility to still
it
go
is.
through.
It's a lot of stuff. We were able to get it out under time. I was 2 days early getting it out. And
Why, if I
Thank you,
m-
Alita.
mind,
She can see us.
Why
Thank you.
was there an urgency? To
why was the urgency?
happen
The urgency was that it was a paid storage unit, and they needed to be out by the 31st.
I see.
They were clearing it
so
out.
they were motivated to sell, motivated
correct.
to clean. Got
Correct. And I also may have the opportunity to buy out the contents of the guy's house.
Oh, geez.
it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I had his representative tell me I told their representative to tell me when that became available.
And
'Cause
he has passed. Is that?
that is not true. He is.
When do you make the bid on his soul?
The first entire week.
You must have thought he was
I
dead.
thought he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was. We were referring to him in the past.
In the past,
tense.
yes.
But no, he's apparently alive and well.
Okay.
But I guess he's just not in this stuff anymore. And
Well, maybe he's older now. He's ready to just,
you know, he's-
travel and do
like,
other
we
things.
we found some like Olin Mills shots of him like from over
Owen
the years.
Mills?
Yeah, you know, you remember? Wait, hold on. Here's my Olin Mills.
Of course, I remember Owen Mills. Yes.
And then like a hazy, like my uncle used to
There's
say
a bigger
my Owen,
face of you here. Yes.
Right, my
Yes.
Holding your trumpet or whatever it
My-
was.
My uncle used to say that my Olin Mills picture looked like this one. I like the one in the background because it looks like you're thinking about your phonics. That's a true quote.
Phonics.
From about 40 years ago.
Have you ever thought about your phonics?
Man, I haven't in a long time.
All right,
That's
then.
funny.
Yeah.
So, do you have any events coming up that you'd like to let us know about?
Well, you're knee deep in one right now.
Yes.
All right, well,
this
it's
is
7th
7 years.
anniversary, of course.
7th anniversary. That's crazy. 7 years. What else? This is the one that we were kind of revving up towards. So
Yeah, unfortunately, you weren't able to use your front lobby, which is under some heavy reconstruction right
They,
now. You got new floors, it looks like, out there.
That's true.
They're nice.
They
The
are
floors are nice.
currently in the middle of renovating the entire atrium. After some time, you know, we got the new bathrooms.
I was going to
right around-
ask,
right around
will
COVID.
the bathrooms be better?
Yes.
The bathrooms are incredible right
Great.
now.
I will check it out
they
soon.
They did the bathrooms over about a year and a half ago, and they are choice.
Nice.
Remember, I used to apologize to people when
Yes.
I am
Yes.
so sorry they are out there. You know, and I'm sorry.
I'm sorry they're there.
And half the time the people wouldn't make it back, and it was just harrowing. But they, I guess there was some word that we were going to get the Brazilian consulate in next door.
Yes.
like where you
I
come
remember
to
you
get
talking
your,
about that.
Right, where you come to get your
With
passports dealt with and everything.
Brazilian women. I need to get it.
Right, go get one
Okay.
of those. And I guess that fell through, but part of their addendum to come in was you got to fix the bathrooms.
Okay.
Bathrooms have to be fixed up. So in order to get a tenant that never ended up showing, They
got
did the bathrooms.
So
And
who do we
thankfully.
have next door right now?
Now, I met him this morning. A guy called Bruno is working with the, I guess it's the first Brazilian pharmacy. First Brazilian pharmacy in Central Florida, at least. And there was some talk that the president of
You said this to me earlier. Yes, might be stopping by.
The traffic around town here was stopped up because I guess Bolsonaro, the very controversial.
Yes.
Very controversial. He
Maybe he'll come in one of these helicopters that are right down the street.
doesn't like the gays that way.
Yes, no.
Yes.
He's not a big fan of that.
He's not. He doesn't have a float in the Pride Parade, is what we're saying.
Not at all.
But he was. There was some rumor that he might make his way over here. Bruno was saying that he might make it over here to see the pharmacy.
So possibly maybe we'll get a visit, sit him down and ask him some questions.
Right.
No, probably.
Some controversial.
So that's next door to you now, and
Right.
then there's somebody next door to that.
That's still next to them is still Bev Fly, the wine place. They're still doing fine.
Okay, very
across
good.
the way where Giraffes used to be, where I forget the name of the second place it was.
Giraffes?
Giraffes. Giraffe is going to be Camello's. Brazilian pizzeria.
Yep.
So that's coming in too, and of course we still have Hidden Sushi here in the back corner. But they're
going-
actively
yes.
they're actively kind of gutting and changing up the atrium space out here.
But it's nice to see that the floors got done, and there's going to be something
Yeah.
really nice here. It just
Yeah,
wasn't
they-
in time for the 7th
I was
anniversary. of Gods and
hoping that they'd
Monsters.
have it
Yes.
done, but it seems to be they seem to be going a little slower on this last
Yeah,
half. So
it's all
But
right.
I'm sure it'll look great. It's gonna look great. So we'll probably be redoing our front windows as well to kind of match.
Oh, will you?
Match-
Okay.
yeah,
Now,
we-
what do you
we-
mean by
Well,
redoing?
the posters and everything are going to come down. They basically want it to fit the theme more out
Okay.
here, like theme colors and everything. So we're kind of going in with them to kind of collaborate on what it's going to
So
look like.
the
And-
color scheme and
color
and
scheme and
font.
everything. Like we want to keep the theming and everything on our theme colors and everything if we can, but we'll simplify it a little bit and probably get a better sign, like a main sign out there.
Okay.
in time. But
So we got some new stuff coming in.
Sure.
Now I want to talk to you about like 10 more things.
Okay.
But we want to talk with Bill Sylvie real quick because he has to leave in like 10 or
Yeah.
15
Oh, yeah.
minutes.
Let's do this.
So gather up your thousands of dollars of,
I
of
thought he- I
items.
thought- I thought he was gonna
I'll come
forget
back
that
from
stuff
my-
here.
Hey, look at this,
Okay.
guys.
And
Check
then,
it
yeah,
out.
we'd-
Heyo.
we'd like to have you come
it's
in.
Sirloin.
Sirloin,
Sirloin.
is here to take pictures today. If anybody wants to, you got him on camera there? Yes.
Our buddy Sirloin.
Yep.
Who's this one? I don't know. Sirloin's friend. You can whisper.
4521 mascot is yes. So if you want to come down here to take
Big
pictures
one?
today,
Nope, nope.
it's on a little
There
bit
he
of a
is,
delay.
There he is, and we got them both. Okay.
Yes, there they are. Come on down here and get autographs with them today. They'll be here all night. And you might be able to find them also in the bar, in the vault as well later. There we go. Now I can see it a little bit better.
Lots of people in the bar, by the way.
Yeah, well, was there?
Yep.
It's just, I can't tell. You know, it's always so secluded around
It's
the corner
way
there, so I
back
don't
in the
even
corner,
know.
and
See,
so,
you can come
yeah.
on by and you can visit with them, take some pictures, and then put those pictures up on your Instagram and your Twitter page. Let people know you're at Gods and Monsters today.
Bring the kids.
For the 7th anniversary. Bring the kids. Look, they can be greeters. As we've had people come through the door, our mascots can come in and greet, and they're wondering, what in the world is this? Come on in. Welcome. Welcome back to Gods and Monsters. Very good. It's good to have them here. And now Bill Sylvie will reveal himself to be one of the mascots. In
Hey,
no.
there he is.
There he is. You almost got bumped by the mascots.
I just I wear a Bill Sylvie costume.
Yes, he dressed as Bill Sylvie.
Yeah, I'm cosplaying as
Nailed
Bill
it, by the
Sylvie.
way. I'm going to say absolutely
Perfect.
nailed
Thank
it.
you.
Yes,
You know, I
perfect.
put a lot of work into this,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
it's the little details. It's the you know, there's a little eyeshadow under here to look like I don't get more than 5 hours.
Right,
of sleep.
right.
Right. No, it's a very effective. Yeah, I love it.
You know, the slouch of someone who's basically been completely beaten down
Dead
by
inside,
and given
yes.
up on life.
Yeah, very good. Dead
Welcome
inside,
back
yes.
to
you.
the show.
Well, welcome back to
I
the show. I know you
remember
don't,
the last
you don't have
time
a lot
we
of
spoke
time.
to you.
You're going to be. You said you got to be
Well,
moving on
I
pretty soon.
j-
But we want to let people know that you can find Bill here at Gods and Monsters. Tell us.
I will be here for Free RPG Day.
Yeah, you can look at either one of those cameras. So you look at your audience.
Okay, I will be here for Free RPG Day, which is on the 25th. That is 2 weeks from today. I will be running some advanced Dungeons and Dragons for those of you who like to get your nostalgia on. And then, to no particular schedule, I will also be running some Tales from the Loop, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's A little bit of Stranger Things, a little bit of Cyberpunk, a little bit of Super Science, but it's all a very satisfying, nostalgic package set in a futuristic 1980s that never was.
So tell people who've never done this before but would like to come down to the store here to experience that. Tell them what they can expect when they come down here. How many people do you think they'll be interacting with? You know, how many people are usually in a campaign? You know,
Well, we usually have sometimes the AD&D group can be kind of a floating crowd because, you know, you get people that want to come and sit and play, but they don't want to be here for 8 hours gaming.
Right.
And I get that, right? You know, not everybody's in for the long haul. So you know, we get anywhere from 5 to 8 folks for AD&D, but I would say we get a good solid. I think the last time I ran Tales from the Loop, which was a few minutes ago, I'll tell you, it was a while back. I think we had 10. I ended up having to make new characters on the spot for people that wanted to come in and play. And let me tell you what, if you like that vibe, if you like that 80s nostalgia vibe, with some mystery and some science mixed in, Tales from the Loop is your jam.
and if they come in for Tales from the Loop, how long of a campaign can they expect?
Oh, I try and wrap those up in just like 4 hours.
Okay.
You know, so it's you know, it's not a long haul game, but it's very satisfying.
Bill, is that something you would prefer other people kind of like let you know that they'd like to attend, or is it just sort of a show up with your character and rock and roll?
If you can let me know in advance, yeah, I would definitely like to.
I imagine that helps because it helps you
Yeah.
for the storytelling and the campaign design and stuff like that. Sure.
Exactly. Like if I'm running an AD&D game and I have geared it towards, you know, this monster slaying, treasure finding romp that requires diverse skills across a number of characters, and I got 3 people that show up that want to play. Sometimes it can be, okay, each of you is running 3 characters.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But if I know in advance that, hey, only 3 or 4 people want to play, I can twiddle the knobs, so to speak, and adjust it a little bit.
Fair, sure.
What kind of turnout have you been getting?
Like I said, the D&D games, it's anywhere from 4 to 6, sometimes 7 or 8 people.
Good.
Because we've had something has come up, and I can't put my finger on it, that's prevented me going out and doing big public get-togethers.
Yes.
You know, something about human malware, but
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything. So
Have you?
Yeah.
Is there any success in doing something like this online, thanks to the success of Zoom
There
and
is.
WebEx, things like that?
That
made it very easy to communicate.
I'll tell you, Art, and I'm glad you asked me that. I am legitimately glad you asked me that because something back in March of 2020, I think we all know what March of 2020 was like. I grabbed my webcam, I pointed it at my meaty face one afternoon, and I said, hey, we're all locked in, and it sucks. And I know a lot of you guys have gaming groups that you not only just enjoyed, for a lot of people, that's their thing, right? You know, that's their get out.
Their
and
interaction
meet
with others,
people,
yeah.
You know, and for a great many people, a gaming group is, it's beyond just I sit down and pretend to be an elf.
I get it. I don't game. However,
we'll keep working on you.
Sure.
We'll get you there.
good luck. But I do feel a sense of constrainment when I'm. That's not a word, but constraint when I'm at home for days on end and not doing anything. And I almost feel the desire, the need to be out among other people, and that's what the satisfaction I get when I get on a set and I'm working with a team of people going toward a goal. It's I don't want to say it's the same thing because it's almost the same thing.
No,
I mean,
I think
you're
the same wavelength.
you're the
Working
script
as a
writer
team.
and the director of a film. It's just being played out on a table in front of you rather than through a camera lens. So
Yeah.
I love that analogy. That's cool.
Very well done.
I think it's very fitting, Greg.
And
So for a lot of people not being able to be on set, that was crushing.
Yeah.
And the thing,
Oh, yes.
the thing that I said, my Big Monday Night group has been as big as 16 people. It's currently shrunk down. It's only 10 people.
How do
that
you
play
sit that
on
many
Monday
people
nights.
around a table?
Well, that's just it. I go on Discord.
Okay.
It is a virtual
Ah,
tabletop.
I see, I
I have
see.
gamers on the West Coast. I have gamers in Florida. I have gamers up north. I have gamers in the Midwest. And I had been doing it for a couple of years. When the human malware started being spread around, I felt like, hey, I got to get out there because there's a lot of people. Their only group is face-to-face.
Right.
Whether it's
Right.
going to a place like Gods and Monsters, a game on a Saturday, let's all meet at Art's house, let's all meet at Greg's house, whatever it is. And now you can't do that.
Yep.
And so when I switched the camera on the first time, I said, look, guys, don't let your gaming die. Don't feel like you're just shut away and you're cut off from human contact and everything is awful. Is it as much fun as getting together and ordering a pizza?
No.
And,
Of course
hugs
not.
when they evening's
No,
over?
it's
No,
not
of
fun.
course it's not.
Not as much fun.
However,
But I said, look,
Something.
you don't need a big set of fancy studio lights and a boom-mounted camera and a pro mic and everything. You need something as simple as a mobile phone.
Yep. Yeah.
If you can get on the internet, your gaming group doesn't have to die. And I would say, day after day, don't stop gaming just because this is going on. Don't let your hobby die. Don't feel like you're cut off from other people because there are people out there. If your DM is a technophobe or the other players are just like, no, I don't want to play online, you can go on Roll20. You can just go searching Discord for open gaming groups. You can do this. And it is as simple.
On those, just to ask, because I don't know, are there a lot of spectators on like a Discord call for those games?
Generally speaking, private gaming groups are just that. It's
I
just
see.
the
Just
people
private,
playing.
right, yeah.
Now, some game masters encourage people to spectate.
That's interesting. I never thought about spectating.
The vibe
Right.
of the game. Like, hey, I'm not gonna talk on the voice channel.
Right.
I'm not gonna issue any commands. I'm just gonna mute my mic and I want to watch you.
great
guys
way to get
play.
people interested, though.
Yeah,
You know, first timers.
It really is. It really is. And I've had people join our group after spending a week or two.
Well, yeah, because if you're
Session-wise.
watching and you're not participating and you're seeing all the excitement and the fun that's happening, of course you probably want to get involved.
Exactly. I mean,
And you get past that intimidation of I don't necessarily know these people. I
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah.
I've been doing. But once you spend a couple weeks watching them play, you do feel like you start to kind of know them, and
mean,
it's
it's-
probably easier to join.
to go back to your analogy, it's like somebody's hanging outside a film set. Mm-hmm. You say, hey, do you want to be an extra?
We don't allow that.
Yeah.
If you're not working on set, get out of
Do
here.
you have a SAG card?
You know, it's interesting.
The shove off.
Just the whole idea of when you're a dungeon master, it's mostly verbal. You're explaining things to people, but with the technology of Zoom and the other software, I just can't think of the other one. We use Zoom and I can't remember the other one. But you have the
WebEx?
obvious button that says share your screen.
Yeah.
Now you have the opportunity as
Yep.
a dungeon master to put video, and audio of items if you really want to set the scene for what you're going into.
Yes.
So I imagine out there are people who can take Zoom and WebEx meetings to the extreme when it comes to playing D&D games.
And there are a great many virtual tabletop apps that they have maps with props on them
okay.
and that sort of thing. And I myself, now, different courses for different horses.
That's a good one.
They-
I haven't heard that before.
There's a bit of a learning curve with the software, and sometimes the UIs for those are written by gamers, not by people who are into UI design.
Sure.
So there's a bit of a hurdle with those. So I myself just go with Discord,
Sure.
a dice roller plug-in, and if I want a visual element for the game, I'll point my camera at the tabletop and have Dwarven Forge.
So, Bill, what you're saying is you do not have a 4-camera setup with a stream deck and and professional microphone.
I have
for-
a 2-camera setup
Oh,
with a
okay.
Stream Deck.
Okay,
and a
all
professional
right.
Well, all
microphone.
right. You're well over 50% of where I thought.
Yes, I have a Lumix 4K for big views of the tabletop.
Yep.
And then I have a 1080p webcam for kind of the
There you
the
go.
close-in views. But, and this is again, this is my bully pulpit. You don't need all that.
Of course
stuff.
not. Of
Right.
course not. Sure.
It seems like not that long ago, Greg, you used to record multi-camera events for one of our Gods and Monsters friends of the show.
It's good for seem to remember us talking, and I told you never to mention that ever.
Oh, no, you
Yes,
you were
yes,
behind the
actually, I did.
scenes.
I did, yeah.
And this was all pre-COVID. You know, this
Yeah,
was years
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
where where there was a campaign going on. You had multiple cameras set up,
Correct.
and then they placed it on their YouTube page to some success.
Yes.
because people are interested in watching these things.
Because of the success of what is the most popular YouTube
Role-playing?
stream
Oh.
or streaming?
Twitch?
Critical Role.
Critical Role,
Yeah,
because
okay.
because of Critical Role, they wanted to create something amongst themselves that was similar to Critical Role. Now, clearly, Critical Role has production values that are just ridiculous.
sure.
And they have guest stars like Vin Diesel and people like that. But so we did the best we could, and yeah, it was.
this was 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, 3-4 years ago. It was.
It's nice to watch Critical Role pretend to play D&D.
Well,
Oh, I'm
they're-
sorry. Did I say?
They are
Inside
marketing
voice.
to a much larger audience than the hardcore gamers, and of course, any game or any film or production that you see, you're always going to have experts in that field that go, that's ridiculous, that's dumb, that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of criticizing Critical
Sure,
Role. They
sure.
have a product.
Yes.
They market it well.
Yes.
And lots of people like it.
Whatever brings
Well
more
said.
people interest into your world, I would assume is something that you would be supportive of.
I mean, I want people to get interested in D&D,
Yeah.
however they get interested in D&D. But I do tell folks that come into the game that join us on Monday nights, and we actually do live stream a game on Tuesday nights
Cool.
on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yep.
And,
You want to tell us where that is, in case anybody's interested?
Yes, you can go to the Delver's Dungeon on
Delver's
YouTube,
Dungeon.
and you can watch us on Tuesday nights. I live stream 5 nights a week. I rants and bants about everything.
I
do with the
generally
hobby.
see you saying something on your Facebook that's saying you're about to go live on
Yes.
something. Yes, I do see that.
Yes, 5 nights a week.
5 nights a week. That's
Yeah.
a full-time
Bill's
job.
got a lot to say.
It's a,
He's got a lot of rants in the chamber.
it's it's like the line from Stand By Me by I'm sorry, Train in Vain. Oh my gosh, Train in Vain by The Clash. Now I got a job, but it don't pay. So
It's a labor of love. I mean, you
It
do
is-
what you
it-
do what you love.
it is a labor of blood.
Welcome,
and
come on in.
It just started for me basically trying to reach out to people and boost morale. You
Sure.
know, and I said, what do I know? I know gaming. I'll talk about gaming. So it kind of grew into this thing, but I'm sorry, took a big detour there. To go back to the Critical Role thing, I like to tell people D&D can be as much or as little as you want to put into it. But trust me when I say it's not going to be exactly like Critical Role. You're going to get
Certainly not.
something different.
And
You're definitely gonna get
here's
something.
something I want to segue into. It's not
All right.
going to be like what you see on Stranger Things.
No.
So now I do want to ask you a question. Have you seen the newest season of
I
Stranger
have
Things?
seen episode 1 of season 4 so far.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have a video.
So that's kind of enough then. Where
They
I'm
touched
going
on
with this.
D&D and
Yes.
what it was, how it was perceived
Satanic
in the
Panic
80s.
and all
Yes.
that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the good old Satanic Panic.
So
which
you were there for the Satanic
I
Panic.
was there. I was.
I
at
was as
ground
well.
Zero.
Sure. I was on the outside. You were on the inside. How do you think the show handled that whole thing? Do you think they just it was a buzz phrase? Or
Having
catchphrase?
having only seen the first episode,
Yeah.
I can't really. I can't really say how much further along they've gone down that path, but I gotta nerd out. That was so the show is set in 1986.
Correct.
Yes.
And Eddie is reading a Newsweek article about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, it wasn't on the cover, but they showed.
But it is from Newsweek. Wrote an article about Dungeons and Dragons in 1985. So that's a year-old copy.
Okay.
Unless he was just looking at an old copy.
So it could be
it
he
could
was
be.
looking at an old copy.
Yes.
And I looked that article up, and it's more or less what he said. I think they spiced it up a little
Of
bit.
course, sure.
the
Yes.
dialogue
Yeah.
writers. But that was a lot of the perception at
Yep.
the time, was that it is not a harmless...
Yeah,
thing.
there's one scene, it's not that crucial, but where there's like a city hall meeting, and you can see the town are close to getting the pitchforks out and going through the town to find the D&D kids.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is from Gary Gygax to me.
yes.
D&D was never as popular as it was when they started
Sure.
going crazy with it. Now, he got angry about the way he was treated by CBS when 60 Minutes came up.
Yes. Yes, it's
There is.
all the way in the far back to the right.
Thank you.
Was it Morley Safer?
Helping
or Ed
people.
No, it was Ed Bradley.
Ed Bradley?
Came up to Lake Geneva to interview Gary. They spent 8 hours. Gary walked him around, showed him where he grew up, talked to him. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of talking to him in his office. And essentially, I mean, you sign your life away when you
agree to be on
sign
60
Sure,
Minutes,
the releases. He'd ask Gary a question, and the answer to it was yes. Then he'd ask Gary a question, and the answer to it was no. If they wanted the no answer for the first question,
Yeah.
they would just, and then
So somewhere out there is probably a great 60 Minutes interview and tour of Gary's house.
yeah.
on the
But
cutting room floor.
Well, they had a narrative to sell,
but
and
did
they
he-
made the interview adhere to their
Fit
narrative.
their narrative, yeah.
it took off in popularity, and he summed it up nicely when he said, "Bill, if they want to burn the books, they got to buy them first."
That's right. Do whatever you want after you buy them.
You want to go to Kmart and buy every copy of Basic D&D and take it and throw it into a bonfire at the church meeting? That's fine. That's
So, I mean,
money
I was
right
there.
into
I was
TSR's
14,
pockets.
15 years old when that whole thing was going down, and I think I was
Come in. They're staring like
slightly
they're not
too
sure.
old. Slightly too old at that moment to say, oh, this is bad, parents don't like it, well, then
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I was not interested. But I knew people that were. And they loved the idea that their parents were afraid of it,
Yes.
or that it was bad in the news. I get that. I understand
those
that.
interviews were the example of like getting a parental sticker on an album.
Yeah.
Once
Oh
that
my
happened,
gosh.
then suddenly, yeah.
Two Live Crew is saying
Right.
naughty things.
When
Well, then
Tipper
I'm
Gore-
buying that album.
When Tipper Gore said we're going to
RIAA.
put a parental sticker on Purple Rain, Prince was like, "Hell
Cool.
yeah, that sounds great."
I'll buy it.
PMRC and RIAA stickers on CDs just serve to sell them.
Absolutely, because kids said, "Oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
hear this. I
Now
need
I'm
to hear
really
it.
gonna.
I need to hear it." That's how the internet works.
If parents didn't want their kids to play D&D, if parents didn't want their kids to listen to heavy metal, the easiest way to fix it
Is
would be
to
if their,
do it.
If their kids came home on a Saturday afternoon,
Listen to it
and
with them.
mom and dad
Play it with
have
them.
got Maiden blasting out of the stereo that was playing.
Yeah.
Engelbert Humperdinck
Right.
the day before, and say, "Come on, son, sit down. I just rolled up a paladin.
Right.
Your mom's about to attack me with a succubus. I don't want to do
Right.
this anymore."
As soon as
That
mom
would've
rolls the
killed
20-sided die,
and
it's
we're
not
drinking
cool.
scotch. Would you like some scotch?
Yes,
Like, okay, but it's awful.
that's all parents had to do to ruin it for their kids.
Scotch
but
tastes
no,
like iodine.
Join
and
in.
peat.
I still hate scotch. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't. Brown drink don't.
So
stick
what's
with
what's
me.
coming up? What's coming up with you?
So we have free RPG day coming up. I will be here.
Here at Gods and Monsters.
running
Fantastic.
events. Had some stuff planned for today, but
construction. Yes.
Is there
Please
something
excuse-
happening out
Yeah,
there
yeah,
that
yeah,
you
we're having
couldn't
some
set
guests
up?
there.
laid plans.
But
of
damn
mice
it.
and
Normally
men.
you're in the back at the table, or
Yeah,
where,
where-
have you
where do
normally
you
been doing
play?
these campaigns here at Gods and Monsters?
Oh no! When I do events here at Gods and Monsters, we've been
In
out
the
in
atrium.
Because
Okay.
you need the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do need the space. Now, this goes back to what I said about you don't need a ton of props. I like the visual
Sure.
appeal. I like the visual
It's more
design
fun with
of the
props.
stuff that I've put out. You guys, you've seen the miniature
Yeah,
terrain. I've
Certainly.
set up.
Oh, yes.
Certainly. But I've
Um,
also seen people play on a big flat
Big flat table.
with a wrapping paper upside down because it's got the squares on it.
Squares on it.
Exactly. That's
Yep.
a great trick. I love that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you need a map, a battle mat.
Buy some cheap wrapping paper.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in 1-inch squares.
Right.
It's in
and usually
1 inch.
99 cents at Walgreens.
Yep,
Yeah.
1-inch squares.
That's true.
But yeah, I'll grab a couple of tables and push them together and set them up. Build a little dungeon at 28 millimeter square, populate it with monsters, cover it with black cloths so they don't know until
Right.
it's too late.
Yep.
Good.
And we go to town.
When they
Cool.
come here for campaigns, do you, after you've completed one, do you get requests from anyone? Like, oh boy, next time I'd really like to play this, or I heard this was interesting.
They're spaced far enough apart just for the events. And again, it's
No
been
one's gonna address the Scarlet Witch that just walked by.
She was here
Super
earlier,
hot.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. She
I
went
got
by the
dis- I
wide
got
camera.
distracted.
Good. Yeah, I know.
If only I put a spell on you by screaming
Yes.
Jay Hawkins was royalty free.
I have a unique perspective going on here. I get to see things.
Greg gets to see.
Yes.
But anyway, I got to look through the viewfinder of the camera.
Sorry
over
about
there.
that, yeah.
But no,
Special requests.
my events have been spaced far enough apart that if people said, "Hey, I can't make it. Would you please run a Tales from the Loop game?" I can plan to do that. And it's been 2 years since we've been able to do this.
Yeah.
So I'll start at least, every 3 or 4 months. I'll try and
Okay.
come down and do something again. But I do, even at my Monday night game, even at our live stream games, if somebody comes to me and says, what do you think of this? I'm not so close-minded to say, no, my campaign, my rules.
Okay, good.
Silence, pleb. I don't DM that way.
I was going to say, speaking of DMing, do you allow yourself time to not be a DM and
No.
have other people run?
I never
you don't-
never get the chance.
Yeah.
I never get the chance. I am eternally the DM. I am the kid who, when he was 11 years old,
Control freak. I get it.
went to you know it. When I went to the toy store, I got a copy of Keep on the Borderlands and a set of dice and no rule book. I just kind of had to figure things out because I thought all the rules were in the module, and I just made stuff up that was fun.
Do you ever miss it, like being a part of the campaign rather than being the DM, or you always like being the dungeon master?
Yes and no, because on the extremely rare opportunity I get to play, and I mean rare, like once a year, maybe. I have to constantly sit there and say, "Don't try and tell them what to do."
Right.
There it
You're
is.
doing it
Yeah,
wrong.
that's,
You're doing
that's
it
what I
wrong.
was hoping
Right.
to hear
What do.
because
Don't try and tell them what to do.
I'll bring it back to film set because that's what I know. Sometimes I'm a director, sometimes I'm a DP, sometimes I just do sound, and it takes some
Right.
constraint.
You're doing
Right?
sound on a
We're
set.
simpatico.
You're doing
Do
sound on a
not
film, and
say
you're gritting your teeth probably.
You
'cause
are
you're
doing
like-
this wrong.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
connection
you
again
know,
between the two.
It's like it's anything. It's just I'm gonna let.
You would have to be with people far more skilled than yourself
So that you can
at the
enjoy it.
game mastering to enjoy yourself.
Right.
No, I mean I have fun playing regardless.
Okay.
But I skill level does help, and I mean there's not some secret society of dungeon masters where we
that we know of.
that I'm willing to
That were,
admit.
yeah, that were, yeah.
But when somebody sits down and they're running
She's back.
a game, if they
Everybody be
really-
cool. Hello. Welcome. Gods and Monsters.
But
Take-
if
go to the wide
if
shot.
there's somebody who it's obvious they're struggling, I try and tell them, hey, do you need a minute? Is
Okay, so you're a mentor as well as a player.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Some people it comes naturally to, and I love telling this story. I love sharing this story. I have a friend who, back when we were doing in-person gaming at my house, I've known her for 30-some years. Invited her to play D&D. She played with us for about 3 years, and my birthday was coming up, and she said, "I'll run a game so you can play."
Ah.
And I was like, okay. And I
All right.
didn't really
That's
know-
nice. However,
Did you ever hear stories of someone who just picked up a guitar and just started playing and they never touched it before?
no studying.
In a good way
In a
or
good-
a
in a good
surprising
way.
way?
In a
Oh,
good
okay, yeah. Sure.
That was what I experienced.
Well, that's pleasant.
She
That's a
had-
pleasant surprise. Yeah,
She was
like a unique gift for telling a
really-
story.
She
Just-
wanted to do that for you because maybe she knew there was something there that she wanted.
she really, and that was the first time. And she has run games for her other friends, for her family, and everything.
Good.
And it's just amazing. And there are people who just have this innate talent to sit down and blend rules mastery and storytelling in such a satisfying way. And there are people who need assistance with that.
I got two questions for you, Bill. So you mentioned AD&D, and then you also mentioned the other game that you run.
Tales from the Loop.
Okay, Tales from the Loop. What is your preferred game that you master lately?
Advanced Dungeons and
Okay,
Dragons,
AD&D.
first edition.
Now,
Old school.
Yes.
my second question would be then, if there's somebody out there interested in getting involved in the Dungeons and Dragons, or just the tabletop role-playing universe, what do you suggest they start with?
What's a good
Assuming
what's a
they
good
know-
gateway drug?
Assuming they know nothing, but they're interested in the whole concept of tabletop gaming, getting together with a bunch of people, pizzas, beers, playing for 8 hours, waking up, or getting home in dawn. What is the game that you would recommend to a brand new person interested?
Starter kit.
I would say start with Dungeons and Dragons.
Just the straight
just-
Dungeons and Dragons, like, is it version 5 they're up to?
Yeah,
or
they're
5?
they're
Okay.
up to version 5.
Okay.
I mean, God, we would be here till sunrise tomorrow trying to navigate through the versions and,
Of course, yeah,
and
yeah.
so on. I won't bore you with that, but it is readily available, and lots of people want to play it.
All right.
Now,
You're saying it's easier to find troops or games or
yeah,
or
it is. But we're kind of in a fun place, at least, because Wizards of the Coast has made most of all of the classic Dungeons and Dragons available either as print on demand or PDF.
Oh, really?
And even if the particular PDFs they're selling, they're not selling print copies of, you can then send them to Lulu or Printivity or take them to Kinko's. Or no, I just dated myself, didn't I?
Kinko's.
no,
not
Kinko's
Kinko's
is still there. It's
Copy
a
Max.
thing.
Kinko's.
Okay, all right. Well, whatever. You can take them somewhere and get them printed and bound. The old stuff is almost as easy to get as the new stuff.
Are the PDFs scans of the original books? Do you
Yes.
think, or they've been updated? Okay,
They are scans of the original.
Okay.
very good.
So there's actually no entry fee to
Yes.
getting started if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Great.
they had some.
And with the online, with the internet, I mean, the resources to find campaigns and groups and stuff like that should be pretty easy.
Yeah,
Come
I
in.
mean,
Welcome.
Facebook
Gods and
groups,
Monsters.
anything that
No, come in.
where you. Oh, it's in the corner back.
Oh,
there.
in the corner.
To the left,
But welcome
but
to
yeah,
Gods and
no,
Monsters.
there's
helping people.
yeah, there's resources. Any kind of, even if you're just talking about D&D.
Yeah.
Do you want to play original 1974 Dungeons and Dragons? There's people out there that are more than happy and
Sure,
willing
yeah.
to play that.
Yep.
First edition advanced D&D, this version of basic D&D, some other version of basic D&D, second edition, third edition, 3.5, fourth edition, fifth edition. There's enough slices of the pie that
When did-
everybody wants it.
When did AD&D come about? Was that? I mean, that's well before 5th edition, correct? I mean-
Yes. So, original came out in January of '74.
Yep.
And TSR kept releasing supplement after supplement. They were publishing a zine at the time called the Strategic Review, which morphed into Dragon Magazine, and they were adding rules and they were answering questions. And I always thought this was kind of funny.
Frequently
There
asked
were
questions.
two groups of D&D players at, I want to say it was Caltech, who interpreted certain vagaries in the rules differently from each other and were at odds with each
I was
other.
going to say that created a debate, I'm sure.
There was literally a
Sure.
gang war on Caltech campus over who was who was interpreting the D&D rules right. So when Gary concatenated all of these little booklets and zines and stuff into AD&D, it was right around 1977. And the first ever hardback role-playing game book from TSR came out, the Monster Manual. So that was between 77 and 80. All of the rule books released and the early modules released. Gary was kind of basically railroaded out of his own company by the mid 80s, and TSR looked at AD&D and said, well, this is a mess once again. We're going to clarify things, and we're going to release a cleaned up version. Now, you were talking about the Satanic Panic earlier.
Yes.
There's a rather infamous document you can find online if you dig enough, but TSR basically released a standards and practices and said we're removing references to drugs, alcohol, assassins,
boy.
prostitution,
Rip out all the fun stuff.
demons,
All
devils,
the fun stuff gone.
all the fun stuff was gone. And
But you know what? As a game master, don't you just add in anything
Yeah.
you want anyway?
Right.
I mean, like what?
Yeah.
That's silly to remove the. I mean, I can understand to appease parents and to put the game on shelves, on
Yeah.
toy shelves, you have to do something. But it's just so ridiculous to think that kids, impressionable teens, kids who are rebelling, that's what kids do. They rebel. Of course, they're going to go there. Of course.
yeah, of course.
If it's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's video games. If it's not video games, it's music. If it's not music, it's
Find something.
they'll turn to art. I mean, if they need to.
Yeah. So, teens will turn to you. Is that
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
teens will turn to art.
Teens will turn to art.
See some art. See art from some cheese.
So second edition AD&D rolled out, and there has never been a role-playing game created. I don't care if it's a kitchen sink press of two guys or if it's a massive company like Wizards of the Coast, where the older the RPG gets, the messier and clunkier it gets with the addition of rules and rules clarifications
Right.
and expansions and so on.
And that's why they need to release an official release of those clarifications, and that becomes a third edition,
And
fourth
that-
edition, fifth edition.
Exactly.
All right. And then where does AD&D exactly fit into the editions then?
AD&D.
Did it just split from the original Dungeons and Dragons, or does it fit somewhere inside of?
Okay, so original Dungeons and Dragons, 74 to basically 76. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition, 77 through 78. I'm sorry, I said 80 first.
Yeah.
77 through 78 was its core rule books were released. The game itself sailed on probably until 89, I think was when second edition was released. Now, while this is going on, TSR was releasing what was referred to as basic Dungeons and Dragons, also a much lighter rule set. So they were selling two separate versions of D&D that you could buy, and
that seems confusing.
a lot of people thought that it was confusing the product lines, but TSR was making money hand over fist.
Oh, sure. The books.
That goes back to a conversation I had with Gary. When I was a kid and I went to the store, here are these hardback books with the badass covers, and here are these box sets with equally badass covers. And I thought, well, you get basic D&D until you learn how to play D&D really good, and then you get advanced D&D. And
Right.
Gary laughed and said, well, we certainly didn't disabuse any one of that.
Is this in the mid 80s?
Yes.
Because I feel like that's exactly when I might have gotten interested, and that's exactly why I didn't get in.
Yeah.
Because it was so confusing.
So, as time went on, NTSR became a worse run company and a more financially precarious company. They released more
Come in,
and more
welcome.
stuff, and they still kept trying to support the basic versions. And when Wizards of the Coast bought them in 98, 97, I think they started. And by 98, they had just subsumed them entirely. The company was a mess.
That was when playership was way down anyway, right? I mean, the players had pretty much moved on from Dungeons and Dragons in the late '90s, early 2000s, right?
It's interesting you mentioned that there was only 1 year that Dungeons and Dragons has ever been outsold in role-playing games.
Oh.
The year 1990 when.
Well, I'm saying specifically that role playing kind of took a dip in the late '90s,
oh
early
yeah,
2000s.
yeah.
It's only recently gotten a resurgence.
Yes.
And not because of Stranger Things specifically, though, right? It's been.
I would say Stranger Things has helped
Has
a
it?
lot.
Yeah.
I think Stranger Things has really helped a lot. But
Because when I was helping the guys do their thing, I recognized it as being back in the mainstream, and that was before Stranger Things happened, just before Stranger Things.
right.
But so maybe it was ramping up, and everything just sort of
Yeah, I think
lined
Stranger
up
Things was
properly.
a gravity assist you can't deny. But Wizards of the Coast basically dropped Basic entirely and just said, okay, here's 3rd edition, and 3rd edition got bloated. Here's 4th edition. 4th edition got bloated, and now we're to 5th edition. And I would surmise that was 2015, I think, when 5th edition hit.
Welcome, come in.
And here we are, 2022. The cycle is about 7-8 years, so I would say probably something new is on the horizon.
It's almost like video game consoles,
Yeah.
It really
the
is.
generation of video game consoles.
It really is. But the beauty of role-playing games is my first edition AD&D game has graphics that are just as good as 5th edition.
That's a good point because they're all in your head.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And I make a big show of the die of the miniatures and the terrain and everything. You need dice, pencil, paper, rule books.
Were you ever witness to anyone who stayed a diehard D&D fan and would not advance to Dungeons and Dragons? Yes, yes.
Oh, would not advance to AD&D.
Right.
I know one guy online.
Just a purist.
Just one of those. No, I'm not going to do it. Dungeons and Dragons doesn't need to be
And
advanced.
I met him in person. Swell guy. We had drinks. Fantastic. I went to Gary Con in 2018. And he absolutely positively thinks D&D started going wrong when the first supplement for D&D was released.
That's the guy I was referring to.
Yes.
There is a guy
I
out
know
there like
one
that.
guy who is the ultimate D&D grognard. And
Let me ask
absolutely
maybe a strange question, and it's only because this is very personal, meaning you only have your own personal experience to draw on.
Sure.
But Dungeons and Dragons as a game, tabletop playing as a game, is there a lot of alcohol and drugs involved in playing? And I know that's more specific to the teams or the groups or the campaigns playing, but is there any reason for the Satanic Panic, any reason for anyone to be concerned that this is a thing?
No. Gary was crazy about little greebly details. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You guys, we've all seen Star Wars. You know when the
What? Yes.
What wars? Star what? What? When the Imperial Star Destroyer goes cruising by, you can pick out the little bits of railroad model and battleship model and everything.
Right.
Attention to detail.
That's
on the Blu-ray.
what the first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide is, the literary equivalent of that. All these tiny greeblies that Gary stuck on.
Okay.
And he thought about all the fantasy books he'd read, not just Lord of the Rings, but Fafhrd and Grey Mouse or Conan the Barbarian. All the little different details he could spice it up and flavor it with. So you get one tiny little table that says, hey, if you got a character that insists they're going to drink to excess or, try poppy juice over and over, here's some things that can happen. And that's it. The game doesn't pivot on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't focus on it. There's not chapter after chapter.
Sure,
of,
but you have to admit, you have to secede that kids getting together playing, there's likely going to be alcohol, there may be pot, there may be more when you're playing. Is that a correct assumption or?
Yeah. Now
You're referring to back in the day or current times?
I'm kind of going through the whole thing because something that the new season of Stranger Things, and you're not there yet, but something that they kind of got to is that marijuana became a pretty big thing in the 80s. And I was there. I remember.
Sure,
It was a big
but-
thing.
But it wasn't for those kids playing the games. So far
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
episodes we've
different
seen,
kids, yeah.
it was
difficult to focus.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Let me tell you what.
But like any game,
I will nurse one cold one through a 4 or 5 hour session.
it's not going to be cold after that.
as a dungeon
Yeah.
master, you're pretty busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's-
have to be on top of it.
I
sure.
have to be on top of it.
Right.
I have seen people, and people.
Let me
react-
ask you this: as a game master, you are kind of in control. Would you police other people drinking and/or smoking during their gameplay?
If we're not in a smoking-friendly place, absolutely.
Oh, that's true. You're
course.
doing it here.
If we are in a smoking-friendly place and it's clear that it's screwing with their ability to enjoy the game, and other people are not happy about it,
Cool.
There you
then
go.
I'm going to say,
Okay.
Take control.
All right.
listen up, Bob Marley. Listen up, Cheech and/or Chong.
Cheech.
You need, good.
Yeah.
So only insofar as it impacts the game. I know people who can put down a bottle of wine
Yeah, I don't know how they do
at,
that.
at a D&D game and be just like, okay, whatever. And I weep for their livers.
So it's not like bowling. You can't get better at it by having a few.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if somebody's keeping it together at the table and they're enjoying themselves, that's fine.
Well, cool.
If you're falling down sloppy drunk and, being an ass, sober or drunk or high,
Excellent.
So remind our
Understood.
audience
Yes,
again
please.
where
Where do we find
to find
you?
you here, what days, and what they can expect.
So I'm not on a schedule here.
Well, that's gonna make
I'm
things
not on a
difficult.
I come to events.
Yes.
Free RPG Day.
But
is the
how
next
do
one.
they find out when you'll be here? They go to your Facebook, your YouTube, your.
I will post. Gods and Monsters has Gods and Monsters RPG. If you just look for that on Facebook.
Yes, they have their own Facebook page,
Yes,
Gods and Monsters RPG.
Oh, okay.
Gods and Monsters RPG.
Oh, I didn't know that was a separate
post up-
page.
Separate page.
I will post up event info about that. If you want to watch me run my mouth about D&D even more, you can find me on YouTube, The Delver's Dungeon. I'm right there.
You said 5 times a week you do that?
5 nights a
5 nights a week.
week. Unless something comes up, and
Right.
occasionally it does. But
Excellent.
most of the time I am there. And if I'm going to be in an event, like Free RPG Day coming up, or on August, I think it's 20th.
August
QuestCon
20th?
Orlando, yes.
August 20th.
QuestCon Orlando.
QuestCon Orlando.
They apparently wanted me to come and do a
Oh,
talk.
very good. Okay.
So I'm going to go do a talk.
Fantastic.
At QuestCon Orlando.
All right.
Where is QuestCon Orlando?
It's in Orlando.
Is it like
Okay.
at the convention center or that's the
I
name of the
don't-
location?
I don't know the venue yet.
Oh, okay.
But, if you want to
Chris
check it
gonna
out
look
there,
that up
but,
real quick.
I should probably endeavor to find out. But I will be there giving a talk. Also, we're talking of old school D&D. A good friend of mine who has been on the live stream, Tracy Lesh, who is one of the founding artists at TSR.
Oh,
His
okay.
art was featured in the earliest versions of D&D.
Did we meet him?
Yeah, you guys met Tracy.
Was it on one of our episodes? You brought him with you, and we were looking
it was May the 4th.
Okay, QuestCon is going to be at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Orlando.
at. Okay. That's
It doesn't give any
See,
more than
it's
that.
in Orlando.
It's-
Tracy will be there. I stare at it too long.
cameras are off.
And that's such a flattering image of me there on OBS.
Each camera's got to be turned back on.
All right, turn that back on.
What was it?
I don't know what it was, but everything's working. Nothing.
It's like the power supply went into sleep mode.
Nothing happened. Everything is fine.
Camera never went off.
No.
But that one did. I got to just reach over there and turn the power back.
Oh no. Sorry, everybody.
That's all right.
Just pull that
Yeah.
toward you.
Grab this glass case.
Can you get around? All right. Okay.
Deadpool's pointing in the direction.
Okay. We're going to be there in a second. I promise.
HDMI wires, I'm sure it's fine.
This is fine.
I'm glad you noticed that. It would have taken me 10 minutes to realize.
Hooked up, but not that camera, right? I didn't turn that back on.
No.
That camera stopped, and that camera stopped. So why?
I don't know. And nothing was different over here. I just kind of wiggled the power plug.
I killed it.
Because we lost our live stream.
The box over there has 53% left. So there's no reason why it should have.
No, it's still
It
going.
says live stream is still going. This is just like before, where we just have to wait for it to just kick back on again.
But the OBS image is frozen.
Sorry, everybody.
The
No,
OBS crawl
we're
is
still
crawling.
still going.
Okay.
Still good.
It's just gonna
Okay.
give it a second to catch up again.
Sorry,
Be
everyone.
a good breaking point for us. Yeah, when we lost signal before, somebody came on and said, "No, you're still there." So that was weird.
Yeah.
I just looked up and the camera was off. That was our power supply.
Yeah, let's wrap because we got a ton of stuff that I'd like to talk to you about.
Yes, and then Todd is coming
And
back
Todd
to
will
tell
come
us
back.
more about his storage facility that they've recently purchased. And I would like to use the restroom as well. but
Oh,
I would
yeah,
like to
maybe
keep
you
the
should do
show
that.
continuing. I'd like to see it come back up, though.
Oh, what do you mean?
It's still frozen on Facebook.
Oh, no.
See, the
In
image is
such
still
a
frozen.
flattering
But it's
image
weird,
of me
though, the
there,
crawl-
too.
The crawl is
And
going,
the crawl comes from OBS. So
meaning
OBS is fine.
everything is fine with there, but nothing's happening on OBS?
It probably has
Start-
something to do
stop
with
the virtual-
Blackmagic box.
Stop the virtual camera and then start it back up.
I have this problem with OBS sometimes, too. And I usually have to restart OBS entirely.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's so funny. Is the audio still there? Hello? Like, are we still on?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think we are.
Yeah, audio is still going.
We're
It's just
we
the
have to
audio's.
still-
Just an old-timey radio
Okay,
show.
So it's
So,
just the black magic.
You want me to just pull
Yeah, that'll be fine.
and restart here?
But isn't that what we just did? Because the black magic box was shut off. It had to. The power. Had to
Sure
come back.
was. So.
Oh.
What's that? Go back to the A10 switcher now. See?
Okay. Switcher's back. And go.
No?
No, you're going to have to restart OBS.
No fair. No fair.
Start that.
Well,
Just-
actually, it's not a terrible place to stop because you gotta
We'll
go
do
to
a
the
part
restroom.
So if you're
we'll
suddenly
go to
it became
part
a
two.
radio program. And
Sorry.
It's just audio.
Old timey radio.
Okay, and that's exactly what we'll do. We will stop
Okay.
the stream and the recording and look for us having a part 2 in just a few minutes here as we continue with Gods and Monsters 7th anniversary. Bill Sylvie, thank you for visiting with us.
Thank you for having
You
me.
can find him on YouTube, as he was telling us, the
And when
The Dungeon
Dungeon
Delver.
Delver.
when this is on YouTube, I'm sure that you're gonna put some links on the on the
links
thing,
underneath
yeah.
so that everybody knows where to find us, and I can get rid of all these things that didn't work for us.
I
Okay,
keep-
so I'm
I
going
keep smelling like
to
Chinese food
hit
out there.
stop recording, and we will be right back very soon.
Bye.